don't know your ascendant or Lagna, then
click on the link below. Go to the website, Circle of Divine Astrology. There will be a calculator there where you can put in your birth details. And this is something that is very, very crucial to knowing your ascendant and your Lagna. Everybody knows pretty much their date of birth, but some people are not aware of the time of birth. So it's very crucial that you have the accurate time of birth. The reason being is because over the eastern horizon, as the planet Earth is spinning throughout the 24-hour day, the ascendant changes roughly about every 2 hours approximately. So at any given time of the day, one's ascendant could change. So you get people perhaps born on the same day, but they have different ascendants, and that brings a whole different personality and a different character and a different intellect also.
And how it influences the whole rest of your chart. What's so interesting is, of course, where you come out into the world head first, and the first house rules the head. It rules your intelligence, your brain, your nervous system, your physical your demeanor. Okay, so there will be qualities and characteristics for each Lagna that are very distinct.
The Lagna is also very crucial. For any astrologer who's looking at a chart, this is the first place that we're going to look at, because it gives us a greater understanding, broader understanding of who this particular person is, how their approach to the whole world. It's going to show us that. Although it shows us also about physical traits as well, in which you're going to be hearing about when we go through the 12 signs associated with the ascendant. It also shows us about the intelligence, their approach towards the world, how they go out into the world.
Now come to the Gemini Lagna. And Gemini is a sign that's ruled by the planet Mercury. And Mercury is communication, communication, communication. They've got the gift of the gab. They like to play with words. They're very restless, Gemini energy. They're here, they're there. Sometimes they don't really remember what they say from one person to another, and they can be conflicting. It's one of these dual signs that's like facing in two directions all at the same time, which makes them exciting, intellectual. There's a certain naive charm about the Gemini energy. They can also be a bit the trickster too with it, so using words to charm and twist things. So the thing about Gemini rising is that they look like very tall and slim. All air signs are tall and tend to be tall and slim, and they have this wiry, nervous kind of energy going on. Their eyes tend to be little and round and kind of darting around and looking. They're always looking at things, thinking. And Gemini rising also is quite intellectual, quite witty. They're very quick on the repartee, so puns and working with words and languages is something that's very much part of their nature. So quite regular features, often kind of little beady eyes, like little chipmunk eyes, I think, are kind of looking around all the time. Very, very curious, very mercurial.
Yes, certainly, as Mercury does rule this sign. So for people who have this sign rising, and it's the sign on their Lagna, the third house can become a very difficult house for them, because the third house will automatically be ruled by the sun. So planets like the sun, planets like Mars, planets like Jupiter can be difficult planets for them to work with, or difficult planets for them to handle. The third house, because the third house again is the house of siblings, yes, but it's also like I was saying earlier on, it's a house of growth. It's something that we're continuously working at. So the sun obviously becomes very, very difficult depending where the sun is in the chart, and also Mars as well becomes a difficult planet, because Mars becomes the natural ruler for people who are Gemini rising of the 6th house, which is the house of enemies. It's the house of illness and disease, so this house becomes very difficult for them. Jupiter also becomes a very difficult planet for them too, because Jupiter rules the 7th house, house of relationships. This is a difficult place, because very often whatever's in the 7th house we tend to project onto our partners, or we give away to the partner also as well. So this house can be also be a very challenging and difficult. And for those people who are also Gemini rising, the fifth house, planets like Venus, Venus becomes a very positive and a very strong planet for them, because Venus will automatically rule the fifth house, and this is the house of creativity. It's the house of talents. Very often, people who are Gemini rising, for example, you will find them in the arts, or doing music, or doing Venusian things. Venus is the ruler of the 12th house, which is a moksha house, and it's connected with loss. It's still a very, very beneficial house for them.